Hello everybody and welcome to Pravus Gaming and a brand new series for this channel, Rimworld! Haha! Oh, this is a game that I really enjoyed playing quite some time ago, back when it was in Alpha 16, and I never got to do a YouTube series as much as I wanted to. Well, now I get to rectify that mistake and finally play some Rimworld on YouTube, and I am, needless to say, very excited about that. Obviously, we are no longer in Alpha 16, we are in Alpha 17, and presumably a lot has changed for the game. I'm looking very much forward to jumping into all of that and experiencing some of the new content. But on top of that, we will be playing a modded series today. I have installed several different mods, some of which are merely quality of life improvements, some UI changes and stuff. Colony Manager adds in some new features, we have the Allow tool, trading spots, and so on, but also some late game content which I've never experienced and I'm looking forward to trying out, such as Glitter Tech, adding lots of shiny and new futuristic items from Glitter Worlds, but it comes at a risk because it will attract the attention of new enemies, and so on. Very cool stuff. This is my mod list for those of you who might want to, I don't know, take note of it. I'm not sure I'm going to include it in the description down below, but I could if people really need that. Anyway, let's go ahead and set up a new colony today. We will be playing a crash-landed scenario, the classic Rimworld experience of 3 survivors. Obviously, there are quite a few other awesome scenarios that have been added into the modding workshop, but I'm not going to be working with those today since it is my first Rimworld series on YouTube. Let's go ahead and play with Randy Random today because I kind of like playing as Randy Random. It makes for good YouTube content because you never know what's going to be around the corner. Now, granted, because I haven't played in some time and I have heard that the defensive strategies have changed a lot, I'm not going to be playing on Extreme or even Intense today. I probably will be playing on Rough. Still fairly difficult, not quite as likely to screw me over in the most horrible possible ways, but let's be honest, this series is probably going to end in tragedy one way or another, but this might at least give us a little bit more time before that happens. And as far as the seed and stuff, I don't think I really care too much. Trosma, sure, fine, we'll go ahead and do that. Let's generate up a new world and choose a starting location. Okay, interesting. This looks somewhat promising, I suppose. What a weird-shaped continent. Alright, fine. So where do we want to play today? I'm not too sure. I don't think I really want to play in the desert. That might be a little bit too crazy. I really do like the boreal forest. The kind of alpine regions, a little bit of cold. It's kind of nice. Pretty fun way to play the game, but not sure I want to do that today, and I don't think I want to go for something as easy as the temperate forest. That usually means for a pretty easy growing period and so on. What if we went for something down in the arid shrubland? A dry region, but not dry enough to become a true desert. Open plains with grasses and bushes give way to scattered groves of trees. Plants are hardy, and there is a moderate density of animals. That seems kind of fun. It does have a year-round growing period, which is helpful. Obviously not prohibitive. If we didn't have that, we could always set up a greenhouse of some sort, but this will make things a little bit easier. What if we played somewhere along a road, though? I don't think I've really done that before. In fact, I've not really messed with this type of map before. At least not that I can remember. Small hills? Let's see. Large hills along a dirt path. I'm not sure what a dirt path does. Does it increase the likelihood of raids, caravans, or anything along those lines? Not sure, but it could be fun. This doesn't seem too bad. Large hills should mean there's plenty to mine, sandstone and slate being the primary stone types. Year-round growing season. Yeah, this actually could be kind of fun. And it's not situated too close to some pirates, but it's not too far away from them either. Alright, yeah, we're going to select this as our site, and I am going to make use of a mod that I have added in called Prepare Carefully, which is going to allow me to choose the team members that I want, customize some of their stats, the equipment that I will be starting with, and create a backstory, some traits, change their appearances, and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do now is spend a little time creating a group that I am satisfied with. And, I guess I should say right now, we will be using point limits to add in a little bit of an extra challenge. I don't want to have, maxed skilled characters all across the game. I want to have a little bit of pros and cons, kind of take away some things in order to gain some more in certain areas. So I'm going to go ahead and put together a team that I'm happy with, and I will be right back. Okay, I think that I've created a team that I am satisfied with, so let's go ahead and introduce you guys to the characters that I designed based on certain archetypes. To start off, we have Albert Robinson, who I designed to be kind of that loner, but very resourceful, I've seen some things, man, kind of a guy. Very good in a fight, a bit of a bruiser, but not exactly the most creative kind of guy. Very tough, very good for survival. His backstory is he was a war child. His parents were drafted into a civil war in his home country, and he has become tough as nails as a result. But his expressive side never got to develop, so he's not capable of any form of art, nor caring for others. Doctoring, just not much of an option. When he became an adult, we can assume that that civil war continued, and he also got drafted into the civil war as soon as he was of legal age, and it was discovered that he has an aptitude for rifles. He then spent months living in the forest picking off the soldiers who dared to cross the border. Also very good at shooting, pretty good at working with animals, and a little bit of cooking, taking care of himself out in the wild. So very much that kind of loner character that I was talking about. As far as his traits, I made him ascetic, so he's actually not very comfortable in impressive and posh environments. He kind of prefers to rough it a little bit. That's what he's become comfortable with. But because he has seen some things and he's gotten really mentally strong, he becomes steadfast. His mental break threshold is reduced. So that's pretty good, I think. Next we have Zoe Lee. Zoe Fox Lee, is how we're going to call her. Now this girl is kind of the opposite. She was raised in a life of privilege and is a little bit of a spoiled child, but was raised to always see the good in others and is kind of that annoying optimist that you sometimes find in a group. Her backstory is she was a blessed child. She was born under auspicious circumstances to a mid-world spiritual group and held in reverence throughout her childhood. She learned to take care of the poor and give succor to the faithful from an early age, pretty good at social, medicine, and artistic, and then when she grew up, she became a faith healer of sorts, a wandering healer. She studied to be a doctor, but was dissatisfied with her practice on an otherwise peaceful midworld. Instead, she chose to pull up roots and travel to the Rimworlds in order to care for people who needed her the most, again building upon that social skill, medicine, and a little bit of cooking. However, she's not capable of anything violent, no hunting, and no killing people once they're already down. So as a result, not good at shooting or melee at all. She's a bit helpless in that way, but very good doctor, and she's very much a social butterfly and does like a little bit of art. Otherwise, not great at a lot of other stuff. Not the best character I've got by a long shot, but at least she's not incapable of any sort of dumb labor. She is pretty much naturally upbeat about everything around her, just has a permanent mood effect. She is gorgeous, which is probably one of the reasons that she was a blessed child to begin with. They recognized how incredibly gorgeous she was. And as a result, people will be attracted to her before she even opens her mouth. And she is kind, which I thought kind of matched well with the backstory, so I just kind of gave her all those types. And then lastly, we have Snappy. Sandy Snappy Shepherds. Now, she's a bit different from the rest. She was a test subject as a child as they tried to create the perfect super soldier. Again, being very good at shooting, kind of like Albert in that way. But she's not capable of fighting, carrying, or wardening, or anything social in that sense. She's a bit isolated. But they didn't quite take. She didn't really become much of a super soldier, but they did develop some really good processing, critical thinking skills, and when she grew up, she became quite the human computer. Excellent memory and a gift for performing complex calculations in her head. The Midworld dictator decided to employ her to keep track of her state's finances, since electrical computers were too susceptible to hacking. So we can assume that's the same dictator that tested on her when she was a child and found a use for her when she became an adult. Now, because she had this kind of nasty history, she's a teetotaler. She really hates the idea of any sort of chemicals, probably because she was subjected to those a lot as a child, and she is a bit on the neurotic side. Very fast worker, but prone to breaking under the mental stress if she gets pushed a little bit too hard. And actually, one thing I kind of forgot about is I could go ahead and add an injury to her as well. What if we added a scar, I think? Let's see. I want to find a surgical scar if I can. There we go. Surgical cut. And we'll say that it's in the back of her head. Not very damaging, though. I don't want to do that. There we go. All right, now she has a surgical cut in her head because she was a test subject. Aha! It kind of fits. So she's going to be very good at shooting. We're talking kind of a river character from Firefly. Very intellectual. She's pretty good at crafting things. She's not capable of any art or anything social or caring for others at all. But anything that involves complex calculations, she is quite good at. But her little quirk is that she's also got a little bit of a green thumb. She doesn't like people that much, but she does see an innocence and nature and finds herself attracted to that, and therefore has some skill in growing. So those are the three characters that we will be going with. Some pretty varied skills. Some people very good at certain tasks, and others really not having any skill at all in some things. So this is going to be a very specialized group, I think. but should be pretty interesting. As far as my equipment, since we do not have 3 people capable of combat, I decided to go ahead and get rid of the plasteel knife and the pistol, and replace it instead with a machine pistol. By default, we actually started off with a female warg, which I could get rid of and get some more points to spend on stats, which is tempting. But you know what, I'm going to go ahead and keep the female warg. I am kind of curious how well it's going to work, so this is what we'll be starting with. Otherwise, mostly kind of the default stuff. Alright, are we ready to begin? I think we are ready to begin. Alright, here we go. The 3 of you awake in your cryosleep sarcophagi to the sound of sirens and ripping metal. You barely get to the escape pods before the ship is torn apart. Sometime later, you land in this unknown Rimworld. As pieces of the shredded starship fall around you, you start making plans to survive. Here we come. All right, we are ready to set up. Cool, let's take a look at our environment, shall we? So this is the arid plains that you guys were talking so much about. Nice. It's a fairly large map, which is nice. There's a fair bit of hills and stuff around it. I'm kind of looking for a good defensible location to start us off. How fertile is the land down here? Actually not too bad, 87% fertility. Could be a heck of a lot worse. So we will be able to do some sort of farming down here, probably some really hardy crops like, I don't know, probably corn or something, I'm not too sure. Peanuts if we can, I don't even think that's in the game, but if it were, something hardy, something resilient would be nice for these temperatures. And there are some creatures around here, not a lot of wildlife that we will be able to hunt aside from boomalopes, which I'm not a big fan of. Those guys do tend to explode and cause lots of fires. I'm wondering if this is a reasonably good starting location here. I mean, it's kind of in an enclosed area. If we could at least block off this area and these 2 areas here. Defensible-ish? What about down here? It's a little bit larger. Maybe, but then we have to build up on the sand, which I don't think that's going to be a problem per se. What about resources in the mountains or the hills? We have some compacted steel. I see some plasteel over here. Tiles. Interesting. Might be something in this structure here. I'm not too sure yet. Titanium. Compacted titanium? Not too sure what I get to do with that, but I'm looking forward to finding out. More steel, more steel. We don't have anyone who's amazing at mining. That's the problem. Some machinery. I kind of think that maybe building down in this area could be for the best. It's a bit wide open is the only problem, but it also could mean that our opponents don't have a lot of cover when we get raided. As long as we chop down all the trees down here, set up some sandbags, this is a pretty open area. We could get a good number of shots out without anyone ducking behind cover. Maybe we can mow them down before they kill us. There's also a geyser right here in the center, which could be useful for my power needs eventually. Good central location, easily defensive. Yeah, I think that maybe we build down here on the sand, and we'll have a little bit of area for farming here to the side and some power options. I think that could be okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do right now, and I won't bore you guys with this for now, but I'll go ahead and start building out some blueprints for what I think would be a reasonable starting base, and we will get started. Okay, so something very basic like this will probably work. Now, I'll just go ahead and say up front, if you are expecting me to play this perfectly optimally and I create these like really gimmicky kind of bedrooms that manipulate all the moodlet modifiers for space and all that other kind of stuff, I'm not going to do that here. That's a little bit too gimmicky for my taste. I kind of prefer to play the game the way it was intended, which is a little bit artistic. You know, just kind of like, hey, this is a nice sized bedroom, let's go ahead and do that. Obviously, I can't build too big and grand yet, but for now, it's reasonably efficient. We'll create ourselves a little bit of a common room, and I did create a critical priority stockpile so that we'll be able to gather stuff up in a nice central location as we build. Let's go ahead and unforbid everything over here. The steel, of course, we'll need the medicine, packaged survival meals. Let's go ahead and get some people set up with weapons. Let's see. Where's my machine pistol? I have that somewhere, right? Let's see. Albert, I'll go ahead and give you the rifle since you are a sniper after all. Snappy, where did my pistol go? It's a good question, actually. Maybe as they move around, I'll find it. There it is. Snappy, go ahead and equip a machine pistol. Make sure you are nice and armed. I saw something up here a minute ago. Hello, packaged survival meals. You never know when that's going to be helpful. Okay. So now they should eat some meals and then start bringing everything down here where we can build up a nice little home. just to kind of pass through the day. And while I'm at it, let's go ahead and set up a sleeping spot real quick just so they have some place to sleep. You know, out in a central location rather than just leaving that up to their own designs. I did set up the work functions kind of in between because this does take a bit of time. I'm not absolutely convinced that this is a great way of doing things yet, but I don't know, we'll adjust this kind of as we go if we need to. And let's also go ahead and set up some jobs, namely chopping wood. I think we can chop down the cacti, which is interesting. Some saguaro cacti and stuff like that. I'm quite familiar with those. Lived with a whole bunch of them around me back when I was growing up in Arizona. So this feels like home to me. I love it. Okay, so yeah, they should be able to chop a lot of that stuff down. Let's go ahead and move up to speed 3 in the meantime and see how things go. Now, unfortunately, I really don't have any sense of time as far as how long this episode's been already, because my Audacity timer is a little off since I had long periods of no talking, so you'll have to forgive me if I run a little bit long or if I'm a little bit short today, but I'll do the best that I can. In the meantime, if we can at least roof off a few areas so we'll get some good positive moodlets, like this bedroom right here, that certainly does help. And there's nothing wrong with sleeping on the sand. Sand can be surprisingly comfortable, I'm sure. I don't think that's actually true at all, but whatever, we'll go with it anyway. Shush, it's okay. I suspect that there's going to be some danger in here. If we walk by here, I bet you we get some sort of foreboding message. We can sense something terrible behind these walls, something ancient, something evil. Probably killer machines, if I had to guess. Hello, Mega Sloth. You'll be useful. There's a lot of geysers on this map. 1, 2, 3, 4 at least. And that's just in this little neck of the woods. There's probably more somewhere. Actually, that might have been all of them. Well, hang on. Okay, I kind of stand corrected. I just happened to look in the area that had all 4 of the geysers that existed, but that's okay. Hey, cool. We were able to put together these, the roof and this building pretty quickly. That's not so bad. Let's go ahead and create some beds if you guys have the time. Just so you guys don't get a horrible negative moodlet for sleeping on the ground, blah, blah, blah. Now you excuse me. Throat. Now you see these little green arrows right here. That's because I do have the mod installed that allows for quality building. I'm going to go ahead and say that I want these to be at least of good quality so that, hopefully, ideally, they don't sleep on horribly uncomfortable beds. And while we're at it, do we want to create any more furniture? No, let's let them go ahead and finish what they're working on right now. I want to make these beds a pretty high priority and also chopping down all of these plants, if we can. Hey, there we go. Nicely done. You were able to put together a shoddy bed. That's not at all what I had in mind. Now she has to deconstruct the darn thing, but at least this one's good. Nope, and she just deconstructed this as well. Nope, she's doing a terrible job. She keeps making shoddy beds. Okay, maybe I'm going a little too far here. Ibex Ram Revenge. I don't think I harmed it. Who harmed this? Oh, my warg. Oh, I forgot that I had an animal. Right, her name is Banshee. She is a warg. We should probably manage that. Animals. She's going off killing things, and she's getting herself hurt. Let's see. I guess I could probably set her to only be allowed in the home areas, but we probably should train her first in obedience, so that she'll be assigned to a master who will follow and defend it, which is not too bad. I should create a restriction zone for animals if I can. Animal area is what I want it to be. New animal area. Nope, I don't want that. How do I set the animal area? Is that just area 1? It probably is area 1? Or maybe I need to assign the animals somewhere else. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Can I set this? No. There's a way to do this, and I'm trying to remember. It's been a little while since I played, as I said, so I apologize in advance if I'm making some fairly obvious mistakes. I don't want to be in the world. Hey, look at this! An upgraded research bench, thanks to one of the mods that I added in. So there's a lot of tech here, and it's all been reorganized, I guess, to hopefully make a little bit more sense. Zone area. That's what I think that I want. Stockpiling zones, home area. Home, I guess home is okay. Let's go ahead and try to restrict the animal to the home area so she doesn't go around eating everything. And yeah, I probably shouldn't forbid this. We'll go ahead and collect the Ibex ram and we'll have to chop it up and stuff like that. Oh well. But for now, animals don't attack doors. Forming caravans. You can form a caravan to send groups of people traveling across the planet. What do we gain from that? I'm curious. Let's go to world for a second. Oh, wow, look at us floating around in space. I've never even seen the stars here before. This is kind of cool. So if I formed a caravan to here, form a group of colonists able to travel to new areas. The colonists will gather all the assigned supplies and accompanying animals, leave their current area, and await further orders. I've never experimented with that before, but I am curious to see how that works. And you know what? In Albert's room, I probably should have included an animal sleeping spot for the warg, so that she can bond, ideally, to Albert. And we do have some beds, but they're all still kind of terrible quality, but at least that is something. While they're all sleeping, let's go ahead and plan out some more jobs. Obviously, I want to keep getting more wood, kind of start me off. Get some useful resources, like so. And we probably should go ahead and start setting up a butchering area at the very least. I haven't got any refrigeration yet. We'll have to work on that later, but do we want to start getting butchering tables first so we can start cooking some meat? We don't have any electricity. I suppose we could do that first. Yeah, alright. Solar power, I would imagine, in a desert environment isn't too bad. Let's go ahead and build a solar panel. And I'll go ahead and place a battery, let's say right here, so that I'll be able to charge something up. That won't be the worst thing in the world. Snappy, unfortunately, is our best constructor by a long shot. I really like having a lot better construction than this. But oh well, that's not what we have. I'll also go ahead and set up a growing zone. Let's say an 8x8. I don't remember everything that's most efficient anymore. I'm going to have to relearn some of this stuff, but let's see. Can we set up corn? Because I do recall that being one of the more efficient plants. Probably okay. Strawberries are usually pretty good if you want to make some money. I don't see a lot of point to anything else here, so let's start with some corn. And we'll have Snappy use her green thumb to grow some of that stuff for now. At least eventually. Not sure we're going to get much use out of this Ibex ram, but oh well. Cargo pods, what do we get? Ooh, a whole mess of oysters. Okay, that is not what I expected to descend from the heavens, but okay, go ahead and gather up the oysters, everybody. Oysters are good, I guess. Looks like Banshee is back at full health, which is quite nice. Okay, so Snappy, can you actually build a worthwhile bed? Gosh dang it, girl. Fine. A caravan from far away. Instead of far away, Strong Pact is approaching. They are a bulk goods trader. Wow, there's a lot of them. I'm not too sure what I'll get from them, but maybe I can find something. Wouldn't be all that bad. We actually could take a look at factions real quick. So it looks like we have several hostile factions, which scares me a little bit. Faraway Strong Pact does kind of like me, so does the Orion installation. But the Pact of Rebriador does not like me too much. The Turtles of Cruelty Pirate Band does not like me, and the Killer Trouts. I wonder if these are some of the factions that have been added into the game by people who have paid, well, a freaking ton of money to the developers. I think it costs like $400, but you can get your name and a faction named after you in some way. In the game, if you want to do something like that. I'm not sure that's something I want to pay for, but it is something you could do. Let's go ahead and put a short table so people don't have to, I want to say normal quality, so that people don't have to eat on the ground. That is a negative moodlet. And at least a couple of stools wouldn't be so bad, or are dining chairs cheaper? No, that costs 60 wood. That's a little bit too much. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and do some stools. And once again, at least normal quality would be nice. Can I set a default so I don't have to click on this every time? Because that's going to get annoying very quick. Gosh dang it, you can't build beds worth anything. Snappy! Okay, set this to normal. At the very least, do a normal bed. Gosh dang, with the shotties. She's only got level 6 construction. She's going to have to level up, but even so, she's wasting so much material. Alright, let's go to Fox and have her talk to... Where's the leader of your band? There you are. Trade with Walker. See if we can find anything useful. Okay. Could sell off some of my materials, but I don't think I see much reason in doing that. Anything here that's really cheap? You don't have any, like, building materials or anything. I don't think I want a beta poly bed. I'm guessing that's part of the Glitter World stuff. And that's a little bit too much for me, thank you, though. Could buy some steel, I suppose. It's relatively cheap. Not sure if I need that right now. Pork, potatoes, chem fuel, neutroamine. Ooh. Lots of useful stuff, and you don't want to buy any of this other stuff. Yeah, no, I don't think that you have anything that's especially good right now. Just go ahead and cancel that. I do want to train my warg to haul, if that's possible. So yes, we should go ahead and set this storage area, at least for now, to allow for... We don't have exactly any raw food. We have to chop some stuff up. I suppose one thing that I could do here is actually go to production and just put together a very basic butcher's table, at least for now, so that we'll be able to chop up the ibex or anything else that we hunt down. And we can use the meat to feed my warg and train it to do some useful stuff. Hauling is very nice. And we do not need these sleeping spots here anymore. We do need to keep chopping down wood, though. Some stuff down here I guess I'll have to do. And maybe we want to harvest some of this agave. I mean, hey, a little bit of free food's not so bad, and agave is actually kind of delicious. I do like some good old-fashioned agave. But I think this is going to have to be where I end the video. Again, I don't know exactly how long it's been, but this is going to be a pretty promising start for me, I think. So thank you all very much for watching. I do hope that you are as excited about this series as I am, because this should be something. It's probably going to end in tragedy, but at the very least, we're going to have some laughs along the way. Be sure to hit that like button if you are looking forward to it. Leave a comment with your suggestions, and subscribe if you have not already. My name is Pravus, and I will see you guys next time in Rimworld. Bye-bye.